There are moments in life when the universe whispers to us. Sometimes it is a gentle reminder. Other times it is a loud, undeniable calling. And today, I want you to understand this. God has said that September 7, 8, and 9 are not ordinary days. They are critical days. Why? Because within these 3 days lies the potential to change your life forever, or to miss opportunities that will never come back. Most people wake up and live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. But God doesn't warn for no reason. When a message comes, it is not for entertainment. It is for awakening. These 3 days can be the bridge between where you are and where you've always wanted to be. But only if you are conscious, alert, and ready to act. Awareness is the foundation upon which every transformation in life begins. Without awareness, there is no clarity. And without clarity, there is no action that carries real meaning. When I speak of awareness, I am not referring to the simple act of being awake in the physical sense. I am speaking of the state of being truly conscious. Conscious of your thoughts, conscious of your emotions, conscious of your environment, and conscious of the subtle messages that life sends you every single day. Most people live as if they are awake, but in reality, they are sleepwalking through their own existence. They repeat patterns, follow routines, and react to circumstances without ever pausing to question why they do what they do. This is why life feels like an endless loop for many. They keep encountering the same struggles, the same disappointments, the same limitations, because they never stop to truly see. Awareness is everything, because when you truly see, when you truly observe, you begin to realize that life is speaking to you constantly. God's messages do not always come in the form of a loud voice from the clouds. They come in whispers. They come in the timing of events. They come in the people who cross your path. They come in the opportunities that show up and the challenges that force you to grow. But the question is, are you paying attention? September 7, 8, and 9 are not random dates. They are critical because they symbolize a window of alignment. A window where the energy of life is heightened, where opportunities and decisions carry extra weight. But this window will mean nothing to you if you move through these days like any other day. Awareness is the key that unlocks the hidden potential within these moments. Without awareness, these days will pass like sand slipping through your fingers. You will not notice the doors opening. You will not sense the invitations life is sending your way. You will not recognize the warning signs that could save you from mistakes. And then you will look back and wonder why nothing changed. The answer will be simply you were not aware. What does it mean to be aware in these critical days? It means that from the moment you wake up, you do not allow your mind to run on autopilot. You do not wake up and reach for your phone without thinking. You do not start your day lost in the noise of the world. You wake up and you take a breath. You wake up and you ask yourself, what is life asking of me today? What am I being called to do? Most people never ask these questions, and that is why they never find the answers. Awareness requires intention. You must decide to live with your eyes open. You must decide to slow down enough to notice the details that everyone else overlooks. It might be a conversation that carries an opportunity. It might be a thought that enters your mind, a thought that could lead to a breakthrough if you act on it. It might be a feeling that tells you something is off and you need to change your direction. Awareness is listening to these signals instead of dismissing them. Think about how many times you have ignored your intuition, only to regret it later. How many times did you feel something was wrong, but you didn't act on it? How many times did you sense an opportunity, but you were too distracted to take it? These moments are not accidents. They are the result of a lack of awareness. And here is the truth: life does not reward the distracted. Life rewards those who pay attention. God sends messages every day, but only the awake can hear them. This is why awareness is everything. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without it, you will live your entire life reacting instead of creating, following instead of leading, drifting instead of directing. And when the critical days arrive, days like September 7, 8, and 9, you will miss them completely. Awareness is not about living in fear. It is not about being paranoid or overanalyzing everything. It is about being present, truly present. Most people are physically present but mentally absent. Their bodies are here, but their minds are in yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's worries. And when your mind is not in the now, you cannot see what is in front of you. You cannot sense the opportunities that only exist in the present moment. You cannot recognize the lessons life is teaching you right now. So how do you become aware? You start by slowing down. You start by noticing your breath. You start by observing your thoughts without judgment. You start by asking better questions. Why am I feeling this way? What is life trying to teach me through this experience? Where is the opportunity in this challenge? These questions open your mind. They shift you from autopilot to conscious living. And when you live consciously, you begin to see what others cannot see. September 7, 8, and 9 are not days for sleeping through life. They are days for deep observation. They are days for listening to the quiet voice within. They are days for paying attention to the patterns around you. If a certain person keeps coming to your mind, there is a reason. If a specific thought keeps returning, there is a reason. If doors are closing in one area and opening in another, there is a reason. But you will only understand the reason if you are aware. Life speaks in patterns, but only the aware can decode them. God does not hide the truth from us. We hide it from ourselves by being too busy, too distracted, too unconscious to see what is right in front of us. Awareness also requires humility. It means admitting that you do not know everything, that you might have been wrong, that there is something new to learn in every situation. People who lack awareness often live in arrogance. They believe they already know, so they stop looking. They stop observing. They stop listening. And when you stop listening, you stop growing. The aware person, on the other hand, understands that life is an endless teacher. Every day carries a lesson. Every conversation holds a message. Every challenge hides an opportunity. And when you approach life with this attitude, nothing is wasted. Even the hardest days become valuable. Even the smallest events carry meaning. This is why awareness is everything. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It turns random events into divine guidance. It makes you realize that nothing in life is truly random. Everything is connected. Everything is leading you somewhere. But you can only see the path if you are awake. So as these critical days approach, I challenge you to live with heightened awareness. Notice the way you feel when you wake up. Notice the conversations you have. Notice the opportunities that arise. Do not dismiss the small things, because often the smallest details lead to the biggest breakthroughs. And above all, notice yourself. Notice your own thoughts. Notice your own patterns, because awareness is not only about the outer world, it is about the inner world. If you do not know yourself, you cannot understand the signs around you. If you do not understand your own motives, your own fears, your own desires, you will misinterpret everything life sends you. Awareness begins within. The more you understand yourself, the more clearly you will see the world. The more clearly you see the world, the more easily you will recognize the doors that God is opening for you. September 7, 8, and 9 will come and go like any other days for most people. They will wake up, scroll through their phones, complain about their problems, waste their time, and go to bed without realizing that life gave them a gift that they ignored. Do not be one of those people. Do not sleep through your destiny. Live these days with the highest level of awareness you have ever experienced. Treat them as sacred. Treat them as an opportunity to align with your purpose. Because awareness is everything. It is the key that unlocks the power of these days. And when you live with awareness, you stop being a victim of life and start becoming the creator of your life. Remember this, the universe is always speaking, but only those who are awake can hear. Be awake, be present, be aware. And these critical days will not just pass, you will transform through them. Life changes in the moment of decision. It does not change when you merely wish for something. It does not change when you hope for something to happen. It does not change when you talk about what you want, write it down, or dream about it at night. Life changes the moment you decide, and by decision, I do not mean thinking about it casually. A decision is not a weak statement like, I'll try, or I hope so. A real decision is when you cut off all other possibilities and commit fully to one direction. It is when you say to yourself, this is the way, and there is no turning back. This is the essence of decision, and this is why it carries so much power. When God says September 7, 8, and 9 are critical days, it means these are days where decisions will shape your destiny. These are not ordinary days where you can drift and expect something magical to happen without your involvement. These are days where you will face choices, and the decisions you make will determine the trajectory of your life for months, maybe even years to come. The truth is, most people do not make decisions. They avoid them. They delay them. They procrastinate. They tell themselves, I'll decide later, not realizing that delaying is also a decision, and it usually leads to regret. When you delay, opportunities close. When you hesitate, life moves on without you. Some doors open only once, and if you do not walk through them, they will close forever. That is the harsh truth that most people do not want to hear. We live in a world where people want guarantees before they act. They want certainty before they commit. They want all the lights green before they leave their driveway. But life does not work that way. Life rewards the bold, the decisive, the ones who take a step even when the outcome is uncertain. That is why critical days matter so much, because on these days, life will present you with moments that require courage. Moments that require you to choose, even if you are afraid, even if you are unsure, even if you do not see the whole staircase yet. Think about your life right now. Where are you stuck? Where have you been circling the same mountain for months, maybe even years? It is always because of a decision that you have not made. You know what you need to do. Deep down, you know the path you need to take. But fear whispers in your ear. What if it doesn't work? What if you fail? What if people judge you? And so you stay in the same place, trapped by indecision, paralyzed by doubt, convincing yourself that waiting is safer. But waiting is the most dangerous thing you can do. Waiting kills dreams. Waiting destroys opportunities. Waiting turns potential into regret. And when the critical days arrive, if you continue to wait, you will miss what could have been the turning point of your entire life. Decision is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can stand on the edge of that bridge for years, looking at the other side, imagining what life could be like, talking about how wonderful it would feel. But until you decide to step onto that bridge, nothing changes. Decision is not about knowing every step ahead. It is about committing to the first step with full conviction. People often confuse decision with desire. They think because they want something badly, it will happen. But the world is full of people who want more money, better health, stronger relationships, and a sense of purpose. Wanting is easy. Decision is rare. Decision means you take action. Decision means you change something today, not someday. Decision means you burn the bridges that lead back to your old life, because you know that going back is no longer an option. That is why decision is powerful. It forces you to grow. It forces you to find a way. It forces you to discover strength you did not know you had, because there is no backup plan, no safety net, no retreat. September 7, 8, and 9 will test your ability to decide. Life might present you with a chance to start something new, to end something that no longer serves you, to take a risk that could transform everything. And when that moment comes, you will hear two voices. One will be the voice of fear, telling you to wait, to stay safe, to keep things as they are. The other will be the voice of faith, telling you to move, to trust, to leap even if you cannot see the whole way ahead. Which voice will you listen to? Because the voice you choose will shape your future. Fear always sounds reasonable. Fear will say things like, "Fate if you fail." Faith will say, "What if you succeed?" Fear will ask, "What if they laugh at you?" Faith will ask, "What if they respect you for trying?" Fear will focus on what you could lose. Faith will focus on what you could gain. But you must decide which voice leads your life. Indecision is also a decision, and it is always a decision for mediocrity, for staying where you are, for living below your potential. There is something else you need to understand. The longer you wait to decide, the weaker your resolve becomes. Decision loses its power when delayed. If you feel a strong pull towards something, act on it immediately. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment does not exist. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risk. But greatness lives on the other side of risk, and only those who decide to cross that line experience it. Look back at your own life. The moments you are proud of are always moments where you decided, even when it was hard. Maybe you decided to leave a toxic relationship. Maybe you decided to start a new career. Maybe you decided to move to a new place. Those decisions were scary at the time, but now you see how they shaped your growth. The same will be true for the decisions you make during these critical days. They might scare you now, but one day you will look back and realize they were the turning points of your destiny. Decision is not just about big life choices like careers or relationships. It is also about the small decisions you make every day. The decision to wake up early and work on your goals. The decision to eat healthy instead of giving in to temptation. The decision to spend time with people who uplift you instead of those who drain you. These small decisions compound over time, creating the life you live. Do not underestimate them. And during September 7, 8, and 9, pay attention to these small choices as well. Because sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest decisions. Deciding to be kind when you could have been cruel. Deciding to forgive when you could have held on to resentment. Deciding to take one small step toward your dream instead of another day of excuses. Every decision shapes your destiny, whether you realize it or not. I want you to understand this deep lie: indecision is the enemy of progress. The world belongs to those who decide. The opportunities that others are waiting for will pass by them and come to you if you are willing to act when they hesitate. The dreams that others talk about will become your reality if you are willing to decide when they are stuck in analysis. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to decide to begin. The universe moves for the person who moves. God opens doors for the one who knocks. But you cannot knock if you never decide to approach the door. These 3 days are a gift, but they are a conditional gift. They will not bless you if you treat them like any other day. They will only bless you if you use them to make the decisions you have been postponing. And once you decide, commit. Do not look back. Do not second guess. Do not let the voices of doubt drag you back into indecision. When you decide, the whole universe aligns to support you, but only if you stay committed. So as these critical days approach, ask yourself, what decision have I been avoiding? What choice do I know I need to make, but fear has kept me from making it? What step do I need to take that will change everything? Then make the decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because decision is the point of power. Decision is the moment everything shifts. Decision is the act that turns potential into reality. And if you truly understand this, you will stop waiting for life to change and start deciding to change it yourself. Remember this: The most dangerous thing you can do in life is to remain undecided, because the world will move on without you, and the opportunities you miss will not wait for you. Decide now, act now, because September 7, 8, and 9 are not days for hesitation. They are days for action. They are days for courage. They are days for decision. And decision, real, committed decision, has the power to change everything. There will always be moments in life when the outside world becomes unpredictable, chaotic and uncertain. These are the moments that separate those who merely survive from those who thrive. And the difference between these two types of people is not luck, not chance, not external resources. It is the ability to control the inner world when the outer world is beyond control. When God says September 7, 8, and 9 are critical days, it does not only mean opportunities will come. It also means challenges will arise, pressure will increase, distractions will multiply, and fear will try to creep into your mind and weaken your resolve. In these moments, the greatest battle will not be against circumstances, it will be against yourself. Because life has taught me one truth over and over again. The strongest people are not those who can lift the most weight, fight the hardest battle, or dominate the competition. The strongest people are those who can remain calm in the storm, centered when the world shakes, and focused when chaos demands their attention. This is why control of the inner world is mastery, and without mastery of self, you cannot master anything else. When life becomes critical, the first instinct of most people is to react. They react to what others say, they react to what circumstances bring, they react to fear, to anxiety, to uncertainty. Reaction is easy, reaction is natural, but reaction is also dangerous because it means you have given away your power. When you react, you let the outside world decide how you feel, how you think, and ultimately, how you act. And when that happens, you become a puppet controlled by strings you cannot see. You say things you regret. You make decisions out of fear instead of wisdom. You lose clarity because you are drowning in emotion. This is what happens to the unaware and the untrained. They become victims of their own mind. But you are not here to be a victim. You are here to master yourself, because the person who can control their inner world becomes unshakable. They become unstoppable. They become the type of person that no storm can destroy. Think about this, every great achievement in history was born in the middle of chaos. Every great leader, every great visionary, every great innovator faced moments when everything seemed uncertain. But what separated them from the rest was not that life was easier for them. No, it was that they refused to let the chaos control them. They controlled themselves. They remained calm when others panicked. They stayed focused when others became distracted. They acted with purpose when others froze in fear. And that is exactly what you must do during these critical days. Because if you do not control your mind will control you. If you do not control your emotions will control you. And when emotions take over, logic disappears. Clarity disappears. Strength disappears. You cannot think clearly when you are drowning in fear. You cannot make wise choices when anger burns inside you. You cannot move forward when anxiety ties you down. So the first step to mastering your inner world is to recognize this truth. You are not your thoughts, and you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. And the moment you realize this, you take back your power. When a thought of fear enters your mind, do not fight it and do not feed it. Simply observe it. Say to yourself, this is fear speaking. It is not who I am. When anger rises inside you, do not let it take the steering wheel. Breathe, slow down, create space between the feeling and the reaction. Because the gap between stimulus and response is where your freedom lies. In that gap, you can choose. You can choose to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. You can choose to stay calm instead of exploding. You can choose to act from strength instead of weakness. This is not easy. It requires training. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to pause when everything inside you wants to move fast. But this is the price of mastery. And once you pay this price, life can throw its worst storms at you, and you will remain unshaken. Because power does not belong to the person who controls the world. Power belongs to the person who controls themselves. During these critical days, you will be tested. Maybe things will not go as planned. Maybe people will disappoint you. Maybe circumstances will shift unexpectedly. And in these moments, your mind will want to panic. It will want to spiral into fear, into worry, into doubt. But you must remind yourself, I am not here to control everything outside of me. I am here to control everything inside of me. Because when you control your inner world, the outer world loses its power over you. You can be in the middle of chaos and still feel peace. You can face uncertainty and still feel confidence. You can experience pressure and still act with clarity. This is the ultimate advantage, because most people collapse under pressure. They let fear dictate their choices. They let doubt steal their opportunities. They let anxiety make them blind to the solutions that are right in front of them. Do not be like most people. Decide now that no matter what happens on September 7, 8, and 9, you will remain calm, you will remain focused, you will remain in control. How do you build this control? You start by mastering the small moments. When you feel annoyed, practice patience. When you feel anxious, practice breathing deeply. When you feel the urge to react, practice pausing. These small practices create big strength over time. And during the critical days, this strength will be your greatest weapon. Because opportunities will not always come dressed as opportunities. Sometimes they will come disguised as problems, as setbacks, as challenges. And if your mind is chaotic, you will not see the opportunity hidden inside the problem. You will only see the pain. You will only see the difficulty. But when your mind is calm, when your emotions are steady, you can see what others cannot see. You can find solutions when others only see obstacles. You can make decisions with clarity while others make them out of panic. This is why controlling your inner world is not optional. It is essential. And here is something powerful to understand. You do not need the world to be calm for you to feel calm. Peace is not found in the absence of problems. Peace is created in the presence of discipline. You can create peace right now, even if everything outside you is a mess. How? By focusing on what you can control. Your breath, your thoughts, your choices. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control what life throws at you. But you can always control how you respond. And this response will shape everything. If you respond with panic, you will create chaos. If you respond with anger, you will create conflict. If you respond with fear, you will create failure. But if you respond with calm strength, you create clarity, you create progress, you create victory. This is the real power that God gives us. The power to govern our own mind, even when the world is in turmoil. So during September 7, 8, and 9, make this commitment: nothing outside of me will control me. Not fear, not doubt, not negativity, not the opinions of others. I will choose my thoughts. I will choose my emotions. I will choose my actions. Because my inner world is my kingdom, and no one can rule it except me. Speak this to yourself again and again. Affirm it until it becomes your reality. Because if you let the outside world dominate your inner world, you will always be at the mercy of circumstances. But if you learn to dominate your inner world, you will become unstoppable. And this is not just for these 3 days. This is a life principle. The storms will keep coming. The challenges will never stop. The chaos will always return. But if you master yourself, the storms will not break you. The challenges will not destroy you. The chaos will not move you. Because you will have found the unshakable center within. The place where peace, power, and purpose live. Control your inner world, and you control your destiny. Lose control of your inner world, and the world will control you. The choice is yours, and these critical days are your training ground. They are your opportunity to practice mastery when it matters most. So when fear knocks, do not answer. When doubt whispers, do not listen. When negativity rises, replace it with faith, with courage, with strength. Breathe deeply. Stand tall, speak power into your own heart, and move forward with calm confidence, knowing that nothing outside of you can defeat the strength within you. This is the ultimate freedom. This is the ultimate power. And this is why control of the inner world is not just a principle for life. It is the principle that determines whether you live as a victim or as a master. Be the master. Start now, and let these critical days be the beginning of a life where no storm can shake you, no chaos can break you, and no fear can stop you. Because when you own your inner world, the outer world bows to your strength.